Alright, what's going on YouTube? It's going to be Donnie coming to you from the South Japan PinkuStyle podcast studio. The last time we seen each other was the last time we seen each other with Lex there. I don't know what number it was. Really don't matter, but you'll see it at the top and everything. So anyway, got my guy Lex here on Christmas Day in Japan, Christmas Eve in America. It's like yeah. So it's Christmas Eve there, so I wanted to get one in while y'all are home. Like you ain't got to do so. Japan is wild because Japan is not a Christian base, whatever. The religion, whatever you are. But people, there's Muslims out there who celebrate Christmas because they just make money off of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's all a marketing thing.
Best to.
And it's like whatever it is. So I don't get into all the stuff. I just buy some stuff for the kids until they turn about like 12, and I'm like, all right, well, life is real. You ain't getting no more presents and shit. So you got to get into it, man. But what you been up to, Lex?
Man, so much busy shit. It's been all up and up, but I've been really busy. It's been dope. Everything's been up, man. Yep. How about you?
Man, I think the last time we talked was before I went to the Philippines, and I came back and went again. So I've been there twice, and on that, man, like just jumping right into it, man. I had like some conversations with people. It kind of was like, hey, man, why you like going over to the Philippines and doing this and doing that? I'm like, I know we've met in person and we talked for hours, man. And I'm pretty sure you're the same type of guy where if I'm not invited to a party, I'm not going to ask where the coordinates are because obviously you didn't want me there. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of been like that here for the last, I would say 5 years, because the first 5 years of the business and everything, everybody's like, all right, man, it'll fizzle out 4 years, 4 years, 3 years. But now this is year 9. In a week, it'll be year 9. So they realize, I'm here, until I want to stop doing this and stuff like that. And it's a lot of things has changed, man. And I'm like, man, for me, I'm not going to go somewhere where, because where there's any animosity and stuff, knowingly, unless I have to go there and I'll just deal with whoever's there. But it's I don't want to put myself in a position to have to, to verbally defend or even physically defend myself, you know what I'm saying? Which you won't, that's extreme in Japan. But it's you know what, man, look, I'll take my fucking money. I'll go on the road, make new associates, make new drama, because there's drama everywhere. And I've already seen the drama in the Philippines. But I've been going out there, man, recently because it's I've already been here 8 years. I've been here 16 years. And, anybody out there who worships Japan, if you live here 16 years, man, you'll start to see the chinks in the armor, no, and that's not trying to, that's not
being offensive.
Yeah, but chink, that's also, that's Japanese, not chinks, but whatever. But it's you start to see it gets real, and it's I think anywhere you go is you start to see what's up and blah blah blah, and you see behind the scenes. And that's where a lot of people, even how we brought up before, man, everybody, we always bring them up, LZ and all these other guys, right? They see the videos, but they don't see the leading up to or behind the scenes or the production or all the stuff that goes into making a cool video. They just see the video. They just see 10 minutes. And then they think that's how it is all the time. Nah, bro, it actually is docile. It's busy. There's shit going on. There's stuff broken. There's a lot of stuff that they don't show you. And people just see that. They see the glamour side of Japan, the Daikoku Futo, the whatever the fuck Tokyo Auto Salon. They see all that stuff. They don't see the day-to-day waiting for parts for fucking 3 months. They don't see not being able to get a fucking rotor housing because there's no 13Bs for sale. They don't see stuff like that. So, yeah, man. I've just been kind of on an expedition over in the Philippines. Got a car there now. You know what I mean? So
tell me about that. What is the series that you're involved with, and how's that been going for you? What's it been all involved with that?
So the first deal was the one I did earlier, because I've never been to Philippines in my life until this year, and I've already been 6 times this year. So the first one was Drift Matsuri. It was put on by R102 Productions, which is Tony Arakaki, which is the same guy that actually, go back to 2015, was a guy that got to get my pro status license and stuff when I drove with Daigo Nakamura and all those guys, and the King of Asia, which at that time that was my first inaugural event. Then since then I've done 3 other inaugural events, or 3 or 4, to include the one that we just did, the Seeds, where Robbie was there and stuff like that, which is why people was wondering where Robbie kind of went. Like, I'm done. He's staying closer to home, so he's doing a Southeast Asia gamut, and he can still do his FD thing affiliate, and that's what we just did. So we did Matsuri 3 rounds. I had the car didn't work the first round, just no power. Second round, the engine blew. Third round, I crashed the car after the engine worked, but the suspension was all off. And then after that point, I was like, I'm fucking done with rentals. I was pretty pissed, and I bought a car. I bought my own car there for my guy Von Burrell. And even getting into that, he didn't really get a chance to really get it dialed in, and I got into it. And it's one of those things where like your skill level honestly is higher than some setups and everything. And so I'm gonna go back there again in February, rip it all the way apart down to everything, take everything apart, rebuild the engine, rebuild the suspension, and then make it a competitive car where I can do like the shit 10 out of 10 times and not 8 out of 10 times. And that's what was happening.
So what you got an A31 SETI, or what do you have?
Yeah, I got an A31 there. It's an A31 fully stripped out. Actually, the body is fully gutted, fully no glass. The front glass is in there. They got to go. So I got the front glass. There's no other glass in the doors. It's hollowed out doors. Very lightweight car, but there was issues with the tune. There was issues with the turbo leaks and stuff. It's just Philippines. They're coming up, and there's some really good builds, but there's like maybe 4 or 5, and then everybody else is just like in a grassroots level trying to fight up to it. So it's a mixed bag of marbles. You can have a 200 horsepower Safiro next to a 650 horsepower, I think John car from Drift Mob, like a Sora, and there's no classes. It's not enough people to have classes there. So you got a pro guy next to a pro-am, and you can have a pro-am guy versus a beginner. It's at that point the speeds get kind of
it's a varying
right.
play.
Right. So you can kind of but at the same time, everybody knows what the deal is, and they acknowledge that they're trying to step the game up. Rome Charpentier was there. Rome was and it was dude. It was like you meet somebody who we talked about Rome. I told him, like, hey man, Lex said you in the pod. We'll talk to you up in the podcast as one of the cool guys from the new group of people, and to meet him, man, and like to be a fucking cool dude, man, like just chill guy is like, yes, because you don't want to meet a guy and he's just like, I hope that guy's cool, and you meet him and he's just fucking cool, bro. And I'm gonna get him on the podcast too. But yeah, man, Rome was there. Of course, he went there, and people seen, and the guy pointed it out. He was like, bro, this is like NBA versus fucking like YMCA, like straight up, like and
as far as the FD talent.
No, as far as Rome coming in there and like we had a press conference, and my first press conference, and Dr. Drift Ardell, who was pretty successful there, and he's good at what he does, but he understands the levels, and he said straight up in the press conference, like, everybody, the guy asked the question, who do you want to go against, and he was like, without a doubt, Rome, and of course I was there. It was another guy, Danny, that won the second round, and some other guys there, and none of us took offense to like what he said. He was like, I want to battle Rome. And,
you shouldn't. Yeah. Right.
And I was like, nah, of course. I'm like, bro, like everybody knows the thing, man. Like it's who here has the better resume or CV of wins, and naturally Rome does. So he went out there, car had troubles, and it was cool that he won the first round because we were in the same pits, and I seen this dude. It was to the point where every time he ran, they had to come back, take the wheels off, bleed the brakes, and because something was up with the master cylinder on the e-brake, and it was just he had a lot of issues, man, to still make the car work and everything. So it was a cool thing, but again, my reasons for going there, I'll start talking in a second. My reasons for going there is like to promote my stuff and promote my gear, and meet a new nucleus of people. Kind of stay out of the bullshit there, because there's bullshit everywhere. You know that there's bullshit everywhere, and it's like you deal with how much you want to deal with. But then like I'm like, I try to be cordial, and then I'm like, put my foot down, like, hey dude, I'm not here for none of this shit. I don't care about what y'all got going on. I'm here to push my shit, and it ain't got nothing to do with your business, your company. And everybody was trying to kind of like pull me, like, hey man, next time you come back, come with me. And they all kept selling themselves because they see that I've been there 6 times in this year. You know what I mean? So they like, oh, this dude is like, maybe he got this and that. So, and then also me and Rome was talking to each other in the pits. And and we weren't like, and I don't want to make this like we were like, because we're not talking, because obviously we wouldn't go there. We felt like it was that low level. It's just, again, there's this levels to the game, and they're just starting to get into like Tony is really bringing it up and everything. So another 4 years, I would say they will be where FD was, or one of the prestigious Pro-Am events, like maybe 2013, 2014. So that's that's how, because again, the biggest thing there is parts, and the thing that really holds them back is the government corruption, because you can't get shit.
Wow.
You like the Safiro, the amount I paid for it, and the amount I paid for the car. If I was here in Japan or in America, I probably would have paid like $5 or $6K for it, but I paid almost double that, man, because they're so rare. And everything, all the commodities are driven up because of that. So, it's just crazy there with the government corruption. It just affects everything.
Damn, that's wild.
Yeah.
They have, isn't it? That's not the same group. Maybe that was Malaysia. Didn't Colette Davis go drive out there?
Yeah, it's probably it's closely related. So they were doing a test run, and actually the next round I'll be doing this Indonesia. Then the last round is Malaysia, so I'll be there in Malaysia. So so what they did is they were doing like test events to see how the outcome would be, and she drove in one of those, I believe. And now they made it. It's called Siege, Southeast Asia Drift, South Siege. So it's FD affiliated. So it's a FD affiliated thing. It has FD on the badges and stuff like that. And as a result, they're going to do like the thing when they change from Pro 2 the Pro Spec or whatever, and they're gonna give people like kind of 2 years to kind of get their shit like kind of like up to spec, because there was maybe like 4 cars in that pit, that the whole paddock that would pass a Pro-Am,
pass tech.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, on that level. So cages and stuff like that. So they're slowly working it in. There was some things where Tony had to tell guys like, show up, because Philippine time is worse than black people time. Like, bro, it's like, they're like, yeah, we'll show up whenever. And it's like,
hell yeah.
It's like, so I'm like, nah, I was do so much so I was the first driver to track for the next one of round 2. Because I was like, I don't want to be the guy. I don't want to be the fucking guy late, and I don't know how the traffic is. So I was there the first at the gate. So, then I just chilled and stuff, got the car ready. But again, man, the cool thing is, once they homed it in, and like, I'm not trying to like step on their toes or whatever. So I kind of like didn't really like, as I got further on, I was like, hey man, this would be cool. This would be cool. One thing, they have a lot of mechanics, but they're all kind of doing like, there's no guy on the front left tire, front right tire, rear right tire, gas. Everybody is just kind of scrambling everywhere. And
gotcha.
And even Rome would say, he was like, hey man, he asked to Adele, which I'll get Adele on the podcast. He asked to Adele, could I have one or two guys? And I was kind of on the same thing. And he was like, nah, we'll try to work that in later, but I guess to do that right now during the event would kind of be too like they wouldn't comprehend it. And the reason what he was asking, why he's asking, is like the guy knows the car. He knows what's up. Versus another guy, you got like 13 mechanics running around, and they're all just kind of.
So what did they have, like series mechanics?
No, they got so so they're very. I don't know how I never drifted in the States, so I don't know how it is, but they have like all their so each shop. So there's so the shops that were there. There's Autocraft, which is by Adel Sison, which is equivalent to, he's a Philippine version of Keiji Tsuchiya, because they started everything there. So he's regarded just like Tsuchiya over there. And then he has his daughters who you might have seen it. They got the daughter drift. There's 2 girls. One Ashley Sison has a YouTube page, and they're influencers there. And then you have Drift Mod, which is by John there in Manila. You got CRD, Chris Racing Development, which is in Manila. And then you have Edmund, and he actually has a shop in Hawaii and Philippines, and he knows the Sarah Choi and all that whole crew. And that's Dream Garage. So it's like 4 or 5 garages, and they all come there and they bring their whole cliques. So it'll be like Autocraft's been around since the beginning, so they got about 12 mechanics. And then they were hosting myself, Sarah, Miji, Danny, who won the second round, and then in Rome. So they had us drivers. I was kind of under one of the guys the first time. My guy Seth, who got me over there, which is my connection there, and we also a combat vet. So I was telling them, man, like whatever you guys are trying to divide us or whatever, like we're foreigners, we're combat vets, so that's a bond that you guys is just not gonna break. And then I had to let them know too that again, the next time I come back, it's not gonna be Donald Jackson with anybody. It's gonna be Donald Jackson with PinkuStyle, because I don't want to get like, because guys, they were trying to honestly like pull you in a direction to boost their profile, and that's marketing, man. But I'm not there for that. So, yeah, but it's essentially it's like a dash of Pro-Am with like with a soft mixture of grassroots in there, and Tony was working to get everything to the Pro-Am Pro level, which again, there's like Isaac Reyes, who has pretty much the full. It's like only one or two cars there that will really pass like a Pro-Am spec, and then a few other cars that will need a couple of things. But outside of that, and I went against the guy, and it was just he's like 600 horsepower, and I'm like barely 280. And it was just like I had to go run shallow. I had to jump the line, and I had to back off because I jumped the line so well that I was like out in front of him, and then I had to back off to give him room to work. And I did it again on our first round, which I got disqualified I got disqualified the second one because my headlights didn't work. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. So that stung. You know what I mean? And the guy, he jumped the line and he just swerved hard into me. And I, luckily, I was like almost off the track and had to go back and get on line. And he was already sideways, and I go sideways. So it just, everybody's not on the same level as far as competition and stuff like that. But again, man, it's worth my time to go there and stuff like that. And again, you know what I mean? And they was like, oh, you come from Japan and you still win. I'm like, bro, it's not the skill aside. It's like, bro, I need the car to fucking work 100% of the time too, and I'll rectify that. And then if I lose, in the car, then that's on me. That's on me.
Oh, what? So some guys was giving you shit.
Dude, that was the second round in Philippines, because my face was on my face was on the poster. So your face is on the poster. They expect you to come over there and like shred and shit. I'm like, well, I can't shred if the engine's cutting out or if the engine blows. Like, you know what I mean? That's, you know what I mean? So, like, take fucking Lewis Hamilton and put him in a go-kart. He ain't going to fucking win if it's go-karts versus F1 cars. It's just you know what I mean? It's a different thing there. So, yeah, man. So that got around, and I actually confronted who I think was the people, and they was like, nah, it ain't this. And I'm like, okay. You weren't expecting me to come at you like that, so I was like, and after that,
so it was a whole thing.
Oh yeah, it was a. Why is this guy? Because first time, okay, second time, what's going on? Third time, this guy's trying to plant a flag, and then I now I got a car there. You know what I mean? So it's like they're getting like they don't want a guy to come in for fucking making money to come there and like take what money they're making. So it's just they get protective over their stuff. And then you get the people who pull into the side, hey man, watch out for that guy. And I'm like, man, I'm not fucking here for this shit, dude. Like it's
gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So, but dude, it's worthwhile, man. Honestly, man, it will be you know what I mean, it's it's not too expensive to fly there. I'm not sure how much it costs from the States to there, but for me it's not too expensive. It's cheaper to fly there than to fly from here to Okinawa, which is in Japan. So so it's yeah, man. I mean, shit, man. It would be. I mean, putting it out there, man. It would be like cooler if we got. I got some stuff setting up in the background, which I'll talk about, and it'll be cool, man. Like no shit to like get Jay over here, or like even you come over here, or whatever, because it's open and it's cool. What I like about it is they're obviously if somebody's ultra unsafe in qualifying in practice, they're gonna be like, hey, dude, you can't.
Yeah, they pull you.
Nobody was that. Everybody was. They were good enough where they weren't just spinning out on all the clipping points and everything. So nobody got taken off the grid. But I like it because it's wild, dude. Like, I can compete with Daigo and Nakamura in this event, but I can't drive in D1 GP because I don't have their fucking shit. And it gets down to a piece of plastic, and it's like, bro, it honestly should be like, hey, man, you fucking go out there and drive. Yeah, there should be like a critiquing point or whatever if you're not safe, if you're not doing this, and maybe they could do that. But I'm just going towards these events because, I already proved myself I can drive and everything, and I don't have to go through all this fucking scrutinizing, buying my way in and all that. I don't, I'm using it different. I'm not going to become rich off of drifting. I know that, you know what I'm saying? But I just want to market my stuff and do that, and, with the least amount of resistance going into the event. So that's all.
Okay, gotcha. But I was sick. Yeah, I watched a couple of your vlogs, and they're pretty short, which is cool.
Yeah,
I was just I was just trying to get a gist of what all was going on. But yeah, that's sick. Colette Davis was out here for Winter Jam, so I've known her for a really long time, like before she got her RX-8s and everything, and actually I finally got to apologize to her because I feel like I set her up with that Daniel Coe Garage Life situation. So we finally talked about that and everything. She was like, oh no, it's all good. She was like, whatever. But we talked about her going out to Malaysia and how it was. So I was just trying to see what how it was on your side and whatnot. She had a great time. She kind of said the same thing. The cars were put together.
Right.
They were just put together, so you had to make things work.
Yeah, and that's where I got kind of going back to like people who talking shit up the second round. So the group that we suspected was coming from is the group that we bought the car from. So I'm like, hey man, like my guy just moved here. He just moved his business here. He didn't have time. I told him no sweat, a lot of stuff, and he still brought it. He brought that car up, and then like finally got the engine running, but then like down the suspension, the caster's all off, and we never got. This is round 3. And we didn't even get into suspension settings because we never got the engine to run until he.
Yeah, never got dialed in.
He had to rebuild it, and then I messed up and sent on the wrong pistons, so he had the pistons for the wrong engine, which that caused an issue with the. There was some other stuff, and the machine work was off, and it was just a cluster, man. And then again, we come back, we finally get everything done and stuff like that, and then bam, it's the same thing. It's just kind of off and stuff like that. 1 second, man. I got this. This is I don't want to miss this, man.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. But yeah, it was it is. Again, I didn't expect it to be open arms, but at the same time, barring that, man, it is very helpful. They're very naturally, man. Like you hear all the shit about different places, and I heard what I heard about Philippines. When you get there, man, like on average, man, very nice people, man, very helpful, very thoughtful. Cool place, man. So much so that I want to set up a little satellite there. So if I didn't like it, I wouldn't go back there. So obviously there's business there, and the one thing is I think throws them off is I've only been there a short amount of time, but I've already built the network up, and I also this is one of those things, man. Like if I came to your joint, it's like I'm not like, hey, so what are we doing next? Some people when they visit, they get in there like they need to be with like if you got a guy coming to
tour guide,
right?
Yeah,
and you like and you're like, and you probably were like, because even when we came there, I was like, yeah, we did our thing, blah, blah, blah. I go back to the hotel, crash out, cool. It's like, hey, man, where's the 7-Eleven? They're like, motherfucker, you got DoorDash on your phone. Open that shit up, and, you know what I mean? Or you got Google. So I think it's different now because I can literally get in a taxi if I wanted to do some extracurricular shit when I was there and like fucking, but at the same time, I would check in with you, hey, man, is this place cool?
Right, yeah. Just to know the lay of the land.
Right.
I really...
Right. Because I know we went to that joint and I got too much goddamn fish from that joint, which was good as shit. Yeah, because I'm like, all right, give me this. And they come up with fucking a whole tin full of fucking. I'm like, dude. And I killed about 4 of those shits, and I'm like, I'm like, so like you know what I mean, like that spot. Because I remember when we rode by the night before, I noticed like there was a little gaggle right there, some cars and stuff, and you know what I mean. And then it's just like for some fish right there. I'm in Cali, and it might be chill, but you know what I mean. It might. So it's like, hey man,
Yeah.
is that spot cool to go to, or you know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Yeah, that's sick. Yeah, it was. It's funny. I was working at this spot. I had my interning with me, so he's been working with me getting some bread, and you know this chick, she was cleaning. You know, some of these apartment complexes have these cleaning teams. You know, I'm trying to ask her something, and I don't know English. Fine. I start typing the shit in a Google Translator. I hit Spanish. I hit the thing. Whole goddamn paragraph, right? And she's like, "Oh," and then she started trying to explain the thing, and I'm letting the phone listen. I hit it. I'm like, "All right, cool." And I show my son. I said, "See, there's no excuse for lack of translation
Yeah.
in this world now, because how we have these phones in our pockets, cause you could figure the shit out. There's no way that you could be somewhere and be like, I don't know, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah, shit's
understand
over now.
people." No, it's over.
Yeah,
It's literally over that fast. You say it, they say they don't know. You say, "All right, 1 second." Boom, 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 enter. And then the shit reads it off to them, and then they, "Oh shit, yeah, yeah, yeah." And then she was like, she was laughing at it because of how quickly I typed it and how quickly AI translator said it. And she was laughing, kind of like, "Damn, okay." Then she started trying to speak a little bit of English that
yeah,
she knew. But I've been thinking about traveling. This is so acutely right now, because it's like, yo, when we go out here. The only thing that we have to rely on is our talent.
right. Yeah,
So when we go out there, cats could be cool, but after we drive, they have to know, like, oh no, these dudes are for
yeah,
real out here.
yep,
And hold on, let's help them out. Let's really situate them, because they're just not out here bullshitting, being out of towners, fucking up cars. They're out here really driving the way that we drive, and trying to indulge in the culture. So, you know, I'm like, let's get the talent together. The translation is easy. I can hold my phone up to shit, hit the button, it'll translate what we see. You know, like, we can go try to enjoy this. So
yeah,
that's what I'm working on with him with driving right now.
yeah. That 100%. Another thing too, they got well, one thing about Philippines is English speaking. English is like the damn near the first language there.
Oh, word.
Yeah, yeah, they
Okay.
all speak like so. It's just like Japan when you're in the like around the base and in the cities, you got a lot of English speakers there. And you get into like the boondocks, you know, where the village,
Mm.
where you know out there is not as much, but the
Out
yeah.
countryside,
And
yeah.
one second, let me turn this shit is like hot as shit in here. One second.
Yeah, no doubt.
This heater with the sound deadening, man, makes like a fucking oven in here, man. I was like, yeah, it's like got hot. All right, but yeah, and plus they got some. I know you probably seen the ads, and I'm skeptical how that shit even works. They got the joints where you put the joint in your ear, and then like the automatic.
I've seen
Yeah,
commercials of it, but yeah, that's that's kind of wild. I think that's fresh though,
yeah,
because I for one, I'm always walking around with one of my earbuds in my ear, just one,
yeah,
because I do like to. I don't know, it's weird. I got to figure out what's going on with me, but I always have to have something that I'm listening to,
mm,
or music or something, right? So I be doing that shit 24/7, walking around listening to stuff. So it will be just regular for me to just switch my phone to it and let the AI listen, so I can hear the conversation directly in my ear, instead of, like, you walking around and holding your phone up so that everybody
yeah,
knows
yeah,
that you're, you know what I'm saying,
yeah,
doing that. You could just be listening to people talking and respond, or type in your phone the
yeah.
response, and then
I
it'll.
mean, it's just kind of cool because it gives you that like. I mean, you can just leave it in and like turn. I guess you could switch to or download the whatever, and you can
Mm,
just honestly just hear people talking shit. And they don't know you can even. You know, what I mean, you can
yeah,
hear it.
this you got this little joint in your
Yeah,
ear. Listen. to the shit the whole time, so it look like an earbud or a hearing aid. They gonna talk that shit.
Yeah. So they got one thing. It would be cool if because they got well, somebody already came up with something like that. It was a little high dollar. It was like 2 years ago, and but it required you put one in your ear and they put one in them. It's like it's kind of like to go up to a stranger and have them put something in their ear, but like maybe like they got like a speaker they can hold up to their ear, not necessarily put it in their ear because it could do the live.
It's a two-way
joint. Yeah. So the other one I just talked about, that was a one-way joint, which that really doesn't, because even if you understand, you can't fucking talk back to them. So like the two.
Yeah, but you could just put it in on Google Translate.
The Google Translate shit was getting people fucked up like a few years ago, and they really with the AI stuff start coming out now. That shit's it's like they changed your because you used to the thing with Google. In America, I've been out of school. I'm gonna sound stupid. You was a subject, verb, whatever the fuck. The order of the talk. So in Japan, the subject they put it last.
Right.
So when you would type how we would speak, the fucking shit would be all jumbled up. So even when you did translate when it first came out, it would never be in order. So now you could type in our order and it changes the based on the wherever Chinese or whatever, it changes to how they speak. So then they're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So even the kanji is fucking like spot on now. So the that shit, like you said, no excuse, man. I mean, I rarely, because I know enough Japanese. I don't need any translator. I can get around anywhere in Japan. But if you get in a tight situation, cops like that shit, you pull it out, they speak into it, then you speak into it, and it does a live joint, man. But you posted a video about the jailing, man, and I told you, man, I'm not even afraid to say this live, but like I say, man, I don't know if I'm getting old, man, or like even like bro, watching the center shit, right? We all know the fucking story. We've all, I was not coherent during that point, but a little bit after that, 97 is when I got in the cars. Senna was 94, so that was that's like 3 years, man. So I got in the cars 3 years after Senna's death. Didn't know anything about Senna before that point, and I didn't even learn about Senna until like almost I got really deep into racing and what F1 really is and how prestigious those seats really are and how they get your ass up out of there in a couple races if you ain't good. Like I was watching like that young kid and he had the looks and everything, man. But he was the Formula E champ and some other stuff. And when they got 12 races in, it was like, let's get Danny back in there because you're not doing.
Talking about for Haas,
not Haas, the feeder team to Red Bull, the Alpha.
The Alpha Tour.
Yeah, Alpha Tour. Yeah, so
they were Honda. Yeah, they were trying to figure it out.
Yeah, and he was like, it just ain't working, man. And the Japanese guy who was being humble because they do that shit. That's how they fucking are. Like that cat wasn't saying shit, but he was going on the track and laying it down. And Japanese are like they're just like that. They won't say shit, man, and they'll be like
I'm like that.
Yeah.
Right? I'm always the hyper competitive on the low. You don't know that I'm gunning for you, but I'm going to make it very apparent that I'm gunning for you on. And I sit. And so I've passed that on to Jalen. And Jalen, I got to see that in action last weekend, right? We stood there. We watched certain drivers run the track. And Jalen's looking at a specific driver. And he's like, I look at him. He's like, I got it. Right. I'm like, all right. Yeah. Like, good. That's what I want to see. And he guns for that. So I see that in him. But I really like to plant that because you don't have to outwardly walk around like I'm trying to, like, it's like kicking in the door to a lunchroom. I want to be the best motherfucker in the building right now. Who gonna say
it's like something? It's literally Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather, fucking Terrell Owens, and like the handful of those guys that they can pull it off. I mean, they've done enough work where they can, back it up. But the average dude, most of the times you fucking don't succeed. And then it just, after, it just, what I'm saying? It just makes you look kind of stupid because you're talking all this wild shit. And then like the results for whatever reason ain't matching your, what you call it, man. So it's kind of, that's kind of, because before, I'm not gonna lie, man, when I first started the car stuff, like we talked about before, I felt like I had to prove, being a black guy in a Japanese car, I had to prove like I knew what the fuck I was talking about. And until one cat was like, bro, why the fuck? He's like, dude, relax. He was older. He's like, man, relax, dude. Like, you ain't gotta. I don't really honestly care what you know, and you don't gotta. Because he was like, man, I noticed you over talking yourself to these white guys, like trying to make sure they know you know what a B18 is and you know what this is, and they was like, they mostly don't give a fuck, so stop wasting your time. And after they've clicked, I'm like, man, well, I know what I know. And when I go over there, man, I don't be like, yeah, Donald Jackson first to his name, Drifter since this, you know what I mean? Like, I don't do that shit.
Yeah, that's the thing about it, man. Yeah. It's really just like, don't talk, just do. And that's what I really hope I'm pushing on Jalen, that he understands. I don't have to come in here and talk and tell you who I am or what I am.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is get in my car and I'm going to go drive. After about 10 minutes of driving, if you're observing, you're clearly observing I'm different than maybe what you thought, or I'm different than maybe the variety that you've seen. So that's the biggest thing. Please don't talk yourself into a corner. Just drive yourself into a position that people visibly see.
Right.
They see you're good. They see you can handle shit. They see that you've got everything under control. And that's the biggest thing. And as an excitable kid, I understand where certain things are exciting, and I don't want to take that excitement shit away from him, but I never want him to be a show off ever.
Yeah.
I want you to walk in with your talent. Maybe nobody expects anything from you. I want you to put it down. And when you leave, people are like, hey, dude was pleasant. He was clearly good. And he was easy to be around. He was like really chilling.
Bro, you should highlight that was Rome. That was Rome, like in a clearly, I mean, like without even stating anything, it's like, again, competition wise, like clearly the most accomplished on a stage competition guy there, and was chill. Taught anybody that came up to him, yeah, what's up? Let's get a selfie. Like, chill as fuck. And everybody there, myself included, knew like that was the guy that you wanted to beat. And then there was Danny, who won a second round, which he's from Indonesia, chill guy, didn't talk much, and got on that track and turned into a fucking monster, man. And
that's most.
And they went against each other too.
Yeah, and that's how it's supposed to be. And to be honest, that's mostly West Coast dudes that most West Coast cats that really love it, that really enjoy what we're doing. We don't go. If you take 5 drivers,
right?
Let's include me. Let's include Julian Jacobs.
Palmer.
Let's include Palmer. Yeah. Let's include Rome Charpentier, and let's just say Jeff Jones. These are 5 guys that aren't going to talk themselves up, that aren't going to pop their shit. They're just going to go drive and have a blast. And when they're done driving, you're going to say, that motherfucker can drive. And he was generally a really good dude, like a fun time dude. So, not saying there's a lot of egos in driving. There is, but I'm not saying there's a lot of guys that lead with it. But there are a lot of times I hear conversations from certain people, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I feel it. I can hear the ego. I understand they might have something to prove, but dude, at the end of the day, bro, we that have the opportunity to do this and do it comfortably, bro, there's so much shit people complain about in the States, on this earth, period, and we're playing with cars at our free will, living life how we want to, and that right there, we don't need to pop shit or one up nobody, because hey, I'm talented, I do fun shit, and I want to be the fun guy. I want to be the dude, like when we did the Toyota shit at Barrett Jackson. It was dope when fools are like, hey, where's Lex at? Like, tell Lex to come down from his room. Hey, well, Lex is down. Hey, boss, here, have a drink. Like, come hang, chill with us. Come over here. That's fun to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be the guy that people could care less if I'm around or not. It's like, oh, there he goes. Hey, what's up? And then that's it. It's cool. Like, hey, Lex, what you doing? Here, come over here. Chill with us real quick. That's the fun part about drifting. When you know how it is. Like, you could show up to a foreign event, nowhere, know one guy, and that dude's like, "Come over here, man, hang out with us.
Yeah.
Hey, here's my homeboy." This that. It's the community portion of it when people openly welcome you to their community. That's the dope part about drifting
Right.
that I like. So when you're not being a dickhead, when you're not being an egotistical asshole, when you don't have an online persona that's weird or off-putting, when you
Yeah.
don't come around
And we talking
trying
about
to act like the
yeah,
trying to act like the pro asshole,
yeah,
and fools are like, cuz could stay over there. That's the part of the game that I like. So that's what I'm trying to teach my son. Like, be water. Fit into every space that you can. But when you get in that car and you get out there, knock heads off, man.
yeah.
Knock socks off. Like, do your thing.
What that man is just like being I don't know, man. I think to sum everything up, man. For what I was about to say is like just don't be like people like don't be weird, man. Like this social media.
Don't be with.
Social media is creating this like we talked about before. I mean, we talked about so much stuff, but some of you guys probably first time watching. It's like when the social media this new phenomenon now where people know shit about you. They follow all your videos. They'll get right in front of you at the event and just be like off, like they become off putting, or they expecting like maybe you to engage a certain type of way, or they just don't say nothing, man. And like what even Alan said when I met Sebastian Souza, who's the East Coast ripper and everything, and he was like, man, Sebastian, like he normally don't come to these events. He don't go up to people and talk like that. And he came up to me like, hey man, like glad to meet you. And I was like, cool, yeah, what's up, man? Like, good to meet you, stuff like that. And we walked away. And now I was like, man, that was weird, man, because Sebastian normally stays to himself, so he must obviously respect, what you do and stuff like that. And then, like I say, let's take that moment where, because I'm the same way, man. I'm sociable, but I'm not like happy go lucky, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm not. So if I go out of my way to be like, hey man, what's up, and you blow me off, that's fucking done, son. I don't really.
That's over with.
I don't. Yeah, dude. Like, because I've done it, and you get that cold shoulder. I'm like that. That ain't never happened again. Because I don't care what you're going through. Because obviously you're at this fucking drift event, so you obviously life ain't that bad. Because if it was, you wouldn't fucking be here.
Life ain't that bad.
You wouldn't be here. You'd be home. It ain't be like somebody, your wife be like, hey man, one of your dogs died or whatever. Like, if it really means it much to you, you're gonna pack up and leave to go handle the dog and everything. Or I don't want to put humans in there because this should happen. But if I speak, and that's what's happened here in Japan to a guy that I used to take Popeyes to and shit, and he used to hook me up with alignments, and we were like chill, and then dude, like it just got really fucking weird. And I'm like, dude, the only difference is I got a business now, and now it's like you see that. I mean, I don't care how your act lights are, whatever, how many alignments you did. I got my own business, so that trumps whatever you're doing. And people who are, it's like, hey, I'm not a business guy, so I don't fucking care what this guy is doing. But it's just like other businesses or people who want to do what you're doing have issues with it, and that. I went up to the group and said, hey, what's up? Konnichiwa, blah, blah, blah. And they just straight look at me in my eyes and then say shit. I'm like, oh, we're done here. And and he noticed it and recognized it. And then like a year after that, he tried to speak to me. I walk right by him like, nah, we're done, dude. Like, you don't. And it was like, it was not just me and him. It was me and him. And it was like 8 other people. And they were like, they didn't speak because they were his, like, they call it Kohai, whatever. It's like their underlings. Like, he's training all these guys. So now so whatever he's spitting, he can't drift or he can't do that. And then I go out there and fucking don't say nothing. And I rip the whole fucking track with no edits. 2 times in a row. Mm-hmm. I ripped the whole track, smoked the whole fucking track up, and I come up the track and they looking at me like, oh, he said I can't drift. I'm like, hey, don't fucking listen to people, dude. Like, he's saying some shit because he's jealous, and then like all these. Also, I park with the new guys when I go to the track. There's a hierarchy at L track where the vets park at the front, and then new guys park at the back. I park the new guys because when I come off, that's a bunch of new fucking followers, and then I'm showing them too. Hey man, that shit down there is bullshit. You can park where you want to park and still rip. They ain't got nothing fucking do with where you park on the track. Depends on your skill level because they go by that dumb shit. There's again, Japan has their shit and their age groups, and they go. Age is a big thing there. So if Jay comes over there and then he's putting doors on somebody that's like 45, that motherfucker will have an issue with that. He will have an issue with
really?
Yeah, they will have an issue because a 16. It's changing now because you got Shinji-san, Masanori won D1 champ at like fucking early 20s. So they're kind of getting over it, but still culturally, age is a big thing. Like you don't do certain things before a certain age here. It's really big. So again, if a 16-year-old is putting doors on you, it's like, hey man, get fucking better then. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Or reverse the roles. You put doors on doors on him, and they're like, 16-year-old shouldn't be driving this aggressively against me because I'm 45. I'm like, you're not even pro-am level, and your age doesn't mean shit out here. The 16-year-old, he got it, he understands it, he controls it better, and he's doing something at 16 years old that you didn't fucking start doing to 28, 30. You're way behind the power curve, man. And he has technology on the side.
Exactly. And he has responses and reflexes. Yeah. And reflexes that you don't have. I was talking to Cameron Sorensen, and there was another kid, I forgot his name. So there was 5 drivers at Winter Jam this year, including my son. So 4 others that were under 17.
What's Jay right now?
He just turned 17. Okay. So, but Cameron Sorensen being the youngest, he just turned 13, needing a power steering pump before they come to an event and this and that. And I'm like, how would I tell them that my 17-year-old son that has nowhere near the shoulder and arm strength that you guys have is driving a powered rack with 0 power steering? There ain't even fluid in it. And he's just driving on the rear tires and letting the front wheel flow, and he's finessing the car. There's no way I can tell them, hey, don't worry about it. You don't need power steering, because they might drive a different way. But if I'm like, hey, my son's got no power steering, I got no power steering, here, just park my car, steer it, see how that thing feels. Like, that's when, for me, I got dialed in on what the perfect front tire pressure is for the car. If it's at 28, it's a little too heavy.
Right.
If it's at 32, it's just there. If it's at 36, it's too high. Right. It's too light. Right. So for our suspension, our geometry, and it is actually a little different on my car than it is on his car, because my car is wider and I have more camber on it. So I have a different PSI than him, but the result is the same when you get in both cars. They both steer the same because I've figured out how to dial in, or I figured out what the car likes to dial in for the power, the front tire pressure, to make it feel a little bit better. When the car's sitting still, you're
right.
But if you roll 2 miles an hour, the steering wheel, it turns a lot better, and then when you're drifting, it feels better. It's not heavy because of a specific PSI. So it's like just shit like that. You gain understanding, but I wouldn't be able to tell guys that are completely reliant on power steering. Right. Age, put your tire. How wide are your rims? Okay, do you have spacers? No. Okay, set this tire pressure. They'll be like, fuck no, bro. I need power steering. Yeah. And then like, no, you don't.
Right.
If you listen to me, but if you feel that you do, go ahead and have fun. You know what I'm saying? Sit out while you search auto zones for hours and go get mad messy trying to swap a power steering rack in or something like that, you know? So, yeah, it's just little things like that, and then those are the informations that I pass on so that my son knows. Like, we just changed his alternator belt right before we went out there, and he's like, oh, how'd you know? I grabbed the belt, took it off, and handed him the new belt. I said, feel both of these. This one is all floppy and soft and wiggly. This one was super fucking rigid. Then I'm like, and then here you go. Boom. Drop this nut. put this on, space that up, tighten that, you're done. That was 2 minutes, right? And he's like, yeah. I said, now guess how you know that your belt's going bad? He's like, how? Squeals, your water temperature's going high, but you know your water pump works. Your battery's not charging good, but you know that the belt's spinning. And I was like, now you replace all that shit, and then the battery and the water temp is still high, you know that you have a bad alternator or a bad battery, and you have a bad water pump because you know everything's tight and spinning. And he's like, oh, so when we first fired it up, the car sounded different because of that higher voltage. The needle actually went past 13 and was up towards 16, and his water pump, the pulley wasn't squealing because the belt was so loose. It was
spinning,
getting past it, yeah. And the car ran cool. I mean, bro, as long as I've owned that car, I've never hot lapped that car like that. He hot lapped it for 45 minutes.
Like you found the brown one. It's not brown anymore, but that car is turbo or NA?
Turbo.
Yeah. So is it the turbo 2 or the turbo? Which one is it? Which is it? FC13.
FC13B. Yep. Turbo 2 setup. So yeah, we just dropped that in on all of the NA hardware. So it does have the turbo transmission, but it is the drive shaft to the NA diff with NA axles. So he's gonna break it eventually. But
and that's those has the 4-bolt the 4-bolt on the axles, like the 4-bolt stops.
Yes.
Because one of the reason I didn't know, because one of the guys over there, he's one of the top drivers there. He runs the FC with a 1J, and he just every event destroys the thing. I'm like, dude, you gotta get it.
He might. The axles are really thin.
Yeah, he just breaks them every event, man.
Yeah, he's got NA axles then, because the turbo axles are big boys. Yeah. The rear end can handle 500 horsepower. So, the NA axles are like really small, really thin.
Yeah, they ain't meant for nothing much but just going forward. Hey, buddy, 1 second, buddy. My son right there. Well, 1 second. Okay. We almost finished, man. Yeah. Yeah. But man, that shit's wild. But it's cool. I'm glad I gotta go get them some Christmas haircuts and everything.
Yeah, man.
Stuff like that. But no, it was good talk, man. Like I said, I was just in here yesterday watching the F1 joint, and I just been kind of using this like as a break room, kind of like this. You know what I mean? Just kind of, you know us, man. We can, fucking go 100% every day, man. But it's like and I feel bad about like taking like a chill day, but it's like, man, like you gotta like kind of, there's so much stuff going on with everything, man. It's you gotta kind of like, because if you're fucking all fucked up, man, everybody's relying on you, man. Family, friend,
Exactly.
So it's like if you're fucked up, then everybody's gonna be fucked up, because like you're essential. You're essential worker. There's just no way around it, and that's all good dads, man. It's like there ain't no fucking off days, unfortunately, man. So like while they're at daycare or whatever, wife's getting her hair done, I'll just come here and chill for like an hour and then like recalibrate and then go back out there and get to it, man. So that's, and it's just me. I mean, I'm 41, and the guys there who are watching are a little older, man. Like, we're humans, man. So, yeah, I mean, you can, even those guys that are to be faking and funk, like they be on the clock, like they be the most lazy motherfuckers, because they got some money in the bank and they don't have to go to this meeting or have to do that. So, but it's just like that fronting, like motivational go all day type shit, to be kicking out there to people, or what I'm saying, do what you gotta do with you for you. And that's why actually I posted, I'm pretty sure you've seen, like after I finish this batch of cars, I'm kind of done with because I got some other stuff going on where I don't have to do I don't have to fucking I don't know, man. It's sound like I'm quitting, but I'm not. But I just don't want to work on people's shit like that anymore. And you know what I'm saying? After 8 years, it only took 8 years of this like grinding, and I got to a point where I don't have to timing belts, nope, go somewhere else. Water pump, nope, go somewhere else. You know what I mean? I only want to do significant big shit, which in one at a time. So it'll be one build at a time in conjunction with my own shit. And then pretty much what I'm going to do is parts, my own brand, and then essentially going on Yahoo auctions, finding a FC and doing some shit to it, sell it, rinse, repeat. Like, and I don't have to deal with clients. You know what I'm saying? On a, hey, where's this at? Where is that at? Because that shit's getting old, and the industry is changing right before us, man. Like you said, drifting is getting wild. It's getting wild because everybody kind of can go in a fucking XYZ shop and then click and build a car, and then they just skip all of that hardship of how to do shit, and they just become shitty people. They just become like they want it right now, and it's creating a. It's just, I don't know, man. The industry is changing, and it's kind of like, I mean, shit, you don't even need a shop anymore. The way some of these companies sell the parts, they put all the instructions out there. YouTube is there, so the decline in parts with shops, I see it, and I don't want to be too late holding on to this. It's not the early 90s anymore, and where that time was like, oh, there's no instructions out there, professional install only. Like, no, you can go on YouTube and watch fucking WitchCom build a 2J right in front of you.
Absolutely,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So that and most people are capable. They just think that it's harder than what it is. Mm-hmm. It's just the specs, the tolerances is point 035 is in spec, 0.0348 is out of spec. That's how it works. The side seal.
That's how. Exactly.
That's it. Side seal clearance is, it's a bitch to get it, to get it done. But once you get the shit cleared in, and then you get into the JTP level where, like, yeah, the magazine says this X amount of millimeters, but I'm gonna run this much because I like my shit extra tight. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's when it comes down to skill.
Preference.
Yeah, the skill preference and the expert builder. When you get those CP pistons, it says like 0.025, but that's like in the scale of people who don't know what they're doing, and you could build a little bit tighter, looser. You get bearing clearance, and that's where you get into stuff like that. So that's more advanced stuff where you do need a builder. But other than that, to put it together and run some events, as long as the gap you're not running a NA piston ring gap for a turbo nitrous, then you're good. It's not going to butt against each other and stuff like that. Metal does, for the guys there who don't know, metal gets contraction expands, and even when you build an engine, it has to be a certain degrees, which is, I'm kind of envious of guys over there where you can build an engine right there in your shop and your garage because it's already at temperature. For me, between September and April, I got to have a room that's heated, and the fucking parts got to stand there overnight before I even touch them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
that's wild.
That shit's wild. You know what I mean? So measurement clearances are off and stuff like that. And that's where you get into the more like, I know I'll still get clients, but I'll be very selective, is what I'm saying. And so I put that message out, and as you would know, got around town that, I don't work on I don't work with shit boxes, and it's like, yeah, I don't. So you fucking heard it right. If you're catching feelings of what I said, that means your car is a shit box that I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
You know what I mean? So like,
guys,
yeah, dude. Because now, I heard you don't work with cars anymore. Like, no. I work on cars, but I'm not working on shit where you got 30-year-old bushings, and we're talking about putting a 600 horsepower engine in there. Your car is unbalanced, and I'm just not going to support that. So it's your car, your money. I just refuse to do it, and that's all.
I'm not going to do what you want to be done.
And when I first kicked off, I really had no choice. I was just taking on any job I can get to keep the doors open, to keep food on the table, and now I'm to the point where I got some shit going where I just don't need to I don't need to do that. You know what I mean? So here we are, man. I'm ahead of schedule, man. So this is 10 years. It'll be 9 years. And what I was told by people, like, once you make that 10-year mark, you're pretty. Banks look at you different and stuff like that because you made 10 years of business, man. That's a kind of a milestone. You know what I mean?
Right.
So and I've already unhealthily, I didn't sleep and everything. So now I'm at a point where I just don't have to fucking do that, man. So yeah. But the debts are still there. So I got to make some money to pay up the debts and everything. And then once I clear all that shit, then you'll really see, all my shit getting worked on and other stuff I got brewing that I can do. Cause I got to pay off the debts first in good conscience I can't be owning a motherfucker $20K and I'm over here buying, 5 RX-7s and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's,
it'll get
to the point where I hit my dudes up weekly. Hey man. And they're like, hey, you're cool, dude. We know you're cool. You know what I mean? And like, I just got that Z. I'm like, I had to kind of explain. I'm like, man, I got to explain my fucking purchases to people. Like, it's a marketing tool. Yeah, it's cool, man. It's cool, whatever. But I
Right.
just let them know that, hey, I know you see me. So before you see this Z
Mm,
rolling around and shit, like, don't think I didn't. I know I got to pay you some money back and stuff like that. So you know
yeah.
what I mean? It's all good. It's all good. But hey, man, Lex, man, before you get out of here, man, I know you got the joint for the super joint coming up. What other than that, what else you got going on?
We got Super D that is this weekend.
Okay.
I've got to fly out to Arizona, driving for Toyota again, and Arizona
Mm-hmm.
for Barrett Jackson. I ordered the brand new Yamaha
Oh, you got
R9.
it?
Yep,
Yeah.
that should be
But
down
you
in
said
the
you
dealer.
didn't order two. Did you order one or two? You said you was gonna.
I ordered, I ordered
No
three.
shit. So whoever called first is
Whoever gets that motherfucker first.
I know you said two, and shit
Yeah,
motherfucker said three. And then did you get to do a deposit?
yeah, I had to put a deposit down, but the deposits are refundable,
Okay.
so it's zero risk.
Yeah.
It's like put the deposit down, my money's out there
Did
until
you
whoever
did you tell them, or
like
you
first.
just let them? You didn't say you didn't. You say you ordered two other ones, or
Oh nah, they know, they know. The funny thing about it, when they brought the demo bike around, I was there all 3 days at all three different
right?
dealerships. Um, the video that I made on the first initial walk around, seeing it in person, getting all the info and this and that. Plus, I did all of the info brushing up my damn self. I knew certain things that the rep didn't know.
Right.
The next day, I show up at the dealership that I think is getting it first, that I'm really more comfortable with, and I really want them to be my dealership. He said, "Hey man," he was setting up the bike, right? He's like, "Hey man, this morning my marketing manager sent your
Yeah.
video, and the whole marketing team has been watching your video all morning."
Right.
And I'm like, "Oh, word."
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, yeah." So when guys are asking him questions, he said, "Hey, go talk to my man right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
He knows all about it."
Yeah.
He started having me like
Yeah.
assisting the demos and
He
shit.
talking about
But
free labor and shit, man.
I
Yeah.
know, right? But it was kind of like, well, that's cool. Um, I changed my color option. I wanted the blue initially, but
Mm.
I just took a risk. I was like, I want the white and red
Okay.
because white and red, the white has pearl in it,
Mm.
like my old school are the FZR 600 has. So I want the white and red. So I made that dealership change to white and red, and my other dealership was white and red, and I kept a blue one at another dealership. But I'm pretty settled on this dealership over here, and I feel like the relationship, the rapport I've got with them, I call them, and it's like, "Hey, Lex, what's going on?" It's not like, "Hey, who's this?" You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
It's
Right.
specific. They know who I am, and when I tell them, "Hey, I need this part and that part, see if you could source it for me," they hit me back in the afternoon and they give me info. They update me on what they could find, what they couldn't find, what's available, what's not available. I've already bought a ton of parts for it, and they're like, "Damn, you going crazy." I'm like, "Yeah, when this bike touches down, I'm gonna ride it and experience it how engineers wanted it to be, and then I'm gonna make a few small changes with adding parts, sprockets, clip-ons, specific little things, and I'm gonna make this bike what I want it to be, and then that's what the journey's gonna be." So that's gonna be pretty cool because I've bought a ton of brand new motorcycles, literally first day that they've hit the showroom floors. But this is gonna be the first experience that I'm going to vlog it.
Mm.
And currently, with the R9 being such a hot topic on social media, I feel like I want to be on the front of this train, at least in the first car of
Right.
this
Right. Right.
train, on making content, and I know for a fact nobody's gonna do what I do or ride it how I
Like
ride it.
right away. Yep.
Uh, right away, like people didn't even know there's certain manufacturers. I've gotten windscreens and certain parts for it that nobody knew was available yet, and I bought it. And I sat on the stuff for like 3 weeks. Nobody knew. So then when I post a picture of quite a few boxes, and I'm like, "This is all the R9 stuff," they're like, "How the fuck? What? Where are you getting this from?" And I'm like, "Don't even fucking worry about it, right?" But you can go down. You'll see the R9 video when you hit videos. You'll go down, see the blue R9. two more. Not that one. The next one on the left.
Left side.
This one on the far left. That's the one that corporate was looking at.
First doors. Okay.
Here you guys go. Yeah, no, thanks for coming out, guys. Quick shift up and down. Up and down. Yeah.
Yo.
All right, there we go. Got you back. Yeah, so that was the
You
video.
motherfucker, like you already told them 8 a.m. I was like, I hear you in the background.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was like there's different things, comparisons on what the donor bike chassis was, and I immediately jumped in to check the differences, and realized very fast that this isn't just plastics put on one of the sport nakeds. This is a whole nother thing, and those people were like, "Oh, yeah, no, he knows what he's talking about. Listen to this dude." So it's cool as hell. Like, I'm showing a difference on the frame. Everybody kept saying it's the same exact frame as the other one. I'm like, it's absolutely not. Like, it's completely different. And nobody had done that. Nobody been doing that. All the big moto YouTubers have just been saying, yeah, this is just an MT-09 with fairings on it and all the other random shit. And I'm like, no, it ain't. Like, I appreciate the work, and I'm gonna showcase the work. So I already have a ton of specific things. And when I was talking to the guy, I'm like, so I buy this bike. You guys aren't gonna make a R9M or a R9 SP right after, right? And they're like, no, we kind of put, because this is the first Yamaha that comes with this high spec of forks and brakes. So this is the most equipped Yamaha that's ever come out.
What are they?
And they're like
KYB or
KYB high specs and Brimbos, yep. And so they're like, dude, we think we've put everything that we can think of on it. And I said, all right, bet. Watch what I do, because the stuff that I do isn't going to be so crazy extreme. I just have an idea of how this bike should come from the factory with specific things, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to present it as like, this is how the bike should come. And what I think is going to happen is I think, and this is just in my head, how I use the bike and how I experience the bike, I feel like it's going to promote that there are a few things that they could change on it, but I want to have the bike set up in that way that makes them think that. So that's just my idea of what's going on with that and how I'm going to do it. And I think it's going to be pretty cool. I like the bike. I dig it. I like how it sounds. I'm going to put it on the track. I'm going to go do maximum work.
It's a hydro clutch?
No, it's cable.
The screen looks nice, man.
The biggest screen the Yamaha has so far. It has navigation.
Touch?
It has It has navigation, it has phone connectivity, and they have a new feature called the virtual pit board. So there is a Yamaha application for the phone that, let's say, when it's in range and you come by, your pit crew can give you information, and it shows up at the bottom portion of your dash.
So that's nice too, because like so it's Bluetooth connected. You don't have to have a phone stand and all that shit no more.
Nah, you can just put it in your pocket or in the trunk if it has enough space, or a phone mount. So yeah, there's just certain things that are extremely cool with this motorcycle, and I really am going to explore and exploit all of that. And so the other thing is, they're like, God damn, this motherfucker really got hell of our motorcycles. Yeah. It's like, oh, you ain't even seen all of my bikes.
Did you ride a bike there, or you took it? You
Nah, I just jumped out my work truck. I like, like I said, I like showing up all inconspicuous. You know what I'm saying? And then when it comes down to it and we get to talking, then you're like, oh, who are you? What do you know? I need to know what you know.
Yeah.
And then it turns out they're like, oh,
I figure you come there on a on R3 wide open like fucking 12 o'clock Willie's and shit. Like, it's just like.
I don't like being like that. I really like being extremely talented, but the most quietest in the room.
Yeah.
And then if you realize or figure out or know, like I've had guys that I instruct at track days, and I'm like, okay, guys, this, and this, and I want you to do this and that. And then they're like, dude, I fucking know who you are, bro. Oh my God, you're my instructor. Holy shit. Because they know I'm going to rage. I'm going to let them have some fun. I'm going to show them shit and they trust it, so.
That's good shit.
Yeah.
Man. But yeah, man, that's definitely dope, man. Every time I'm not going to get I'm not going to get a street bike, but I'm going to get a bike and just take it to the track and everything, but I'm not going to ride on the street here. But because there's like, they got like the KTM 250s and shit, man. Speaking of that, man, there might be some fucking because KTM's about to fold, man.
Fold, yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, it's because I know about it because I'm riding the motocross stuff, but they got dues they might not be able to pay, and they be like, I need to start looking at some other contracts. So it's like, and the other manufacturers are like, hey, like they'll take the whole fucking team, and it's some wild shit. So there might be some liquidating sales coming up for some KTM's here.
Which sucks is they just made a bike to compete with this R9, the 990 RC, and I don't know what. Yeah, they're in the loop.
No, they might be some have some half prices because they're gonna the which comps don't give a fuck how much it costs. They're just gonna get as much money back as possible. So I could see them halving or fucking 1/3 of the cost to give some money back.
Right, and even the dealership that I'm buying from, they do KTM there as well. They're like, we holding off on ordering anything until we know what's going on because we're not about to have a bunch of their bikes that we can't take care of.
Right, and so those guys, do they sell on consignment or they buy the stock?
I don't know. They buy the stock.
So that that's why then people are not gonna buy the shit if there's no fucking parts and manufacturers for it.
That's exactly it. There's hardcore dudes that will buy them, but there are consumers. It's like if the company's folded, I don't want it.
Right. Yeah, that's just wild, man. But hey, man, we'll definitely chop it up on that. We'll just do a whole thing on that. When you how many weeks out do you think for the bike?
Oh, it comes in the last portion of March.
Oh shit, damn, we got time then. But we'll do some other stuff before that. But I'm pretty sure you already that's the marketing guys are watching you. So hey man, that'll be some cool collab shit because they know you ain't just talking shit on them. You know what I mean? They obviously watching your videos.
Bro, I would love to see the time that they're emailing me like, hey, Yamaha Corporate Day is coming up. We want you to come on. I mean, because I've gone to every Yamaha Corporate Day, but they would be cool if they're like, hey, come on us.
Yeah.
We want you to come demo this, and we got the media spin for the replacement for the R1 or the stand-in or the new R1. Come ride it and tell us what you think. Like I would love to be
dope. And that's coming for sure, man. The dudes in the marketing, so that means they're already talking, man. So it's just they got their own cheesy corporate marketing bullshit. You know what I mean? That they like, oh, we good, but it's like, hey, the streets ain't watching that. You know what I'm saying? The streets is watching. They watching the shit that ain't watered down and scripted. And stuff like that. So
and I want to give the real shit. So I'm gonna give my real take when I get that joint.
Yep. But cool, man. I'm gonna get out of here because he's I gotta get him over here to the barber shop and everything because they're like a couple months overdue and shit. They kind of getting looking like the curly blowout and shit, man. But hey, man, always, man, it's a good time to talk to you and everything, decompress stuff like that. So, and this will drop on tomorrow. So your other video will kind of be drop. Inception type shit and everything. So but yeah, man, this everything is cool over here. I don't do that whole end of the year, man. I'm already fucking in 2027, man. So you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
We that new year, new me. Nah, you can do the same shit. You know what I mean? Just on some. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. So we can do that and everything. I got to go over to actually shit. I've been in and out since SwitchCon, man. So this whole January I'll be in Masawa. Then February starts I'm going over for a grand opening for a partner company in Philippines, and then I'll be going to Malaysia a week after that. And then while I'm over there, I'm pulling the engine out. So I got WitchCon starts up in like I think March, April. Like I think end of March, April, they kick off and everything. So I got a little bit of time to rebuild the car because I'm like there like 3 days at a time, engine out, take it down. Next time I come back, rebuild, turbo upgrade, suspension and all that stuff, and then get some testing and tuning in. So then I'll be able to kind of show, like, they'll see that car and I'm glad they seen the car like that, and I'll come back like, you know what I mean, this is how a car is supposed to be, man. Like, you know what I mean, you're gonna break shit here and there, but like the stuff that they were kind of fixing the track should have been handled at the shop. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't, you know. So it is what it is, man. But cool, so we'll chop it up. But hopefully again, early next year and everything, because I'm gonna be out of here and everything. So, but I just want to kind of get one in before, I guess this may be the end of the year. So we'll see, man.
Yeah. Well, all right, bud, man. Have a good one, man. Be safe
sure.
and then be productive.
All right, for sure. All right, guys. So again, it's gonna be let me click this off of here. But where we at with this shit up there? But whatever, it's cool. It's a bike stuff. So anyway, guys, thank you guys for tuning in, taking time out. Again, we haven't been as active on these. I haven't been because I got like so much stuff going on. Some stuff, you know, NDA stuff, I can't really even. There's my alarm. Can't even talk about. Can't even talk about until it comes. So, you know, when you get into NDAs, I think that's when you start getting into the real cool shit, because it's like there's a lot of money on the line and stuff like that. And but also, even on the NDA, that shit until you're in motion, it ain't happening. So my only, I guess, my parting thing out there with a lot of you guys that are on social media, man, like, don't post shit right away, man, because shit almost always goes south in business because one part of the party is not ready, man. So when you're out there posting all this shit, and I did it recently with Okinawa joint, and then like 2 weeks later, we weren't talking anymore. 2 weeks after I did the video.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, hold that shit to your chest until like you're on a plane to go drive at the Barrett Jackson joint. You know what I'm saying? You already know that's a thing, but you know what I'm saying? Like some people put the shit out there too much, and then like you look like a dumbass when it doesn't go through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just, and also your adversaries, because everybody got some, you know what I mean? You're giving them too much information and ammo. So, you know what I mean? Practice opposite.
Hey, how I see it is you never know that I'm going to something until I came back.
And I got a couple.
Until I came back.
I post the video. The video I post, like I was already landing. Like, you know, fuck all that trying to get 1-to-1. Like I got some events coming up that's pretty, you know, whatever. And I know, and I see people posting up, hey man, everybody will be here. I'm like, I'm going to be there, and they don't even know it. And that's great. Cause I'm like, I know, like that's good that you know I was coming, cause you don't know I'm there and shit. So, and you know, it is what it is, man. But cool, man. Again, Lex, thanks for the time and everything. Again, guys that are there, check them out. Lex_King_24 on Instagram, KOE Family on YouTube. And you can find them on all those places there. And then, of course, PinkuStyle everything, Donald Jackson on YouTube and stuff like that, or Facebook. And good stuff out there. Great content. I think it's cool that, you know, we have two channels that, like, you know, have great content. But, you know, I mean, we don't do the type of shit that people are doing to get those big fucking numbers. But our content is good. You know what I mean? Our content is great. Very thought out and stuff like that, but again, you know, it's just that certain kind of we're not doing Mr. Beast type shit. Nothing against Mr. Beast, but we ain't doing type shit like that. And you know, so don't sleep on the channel because there's not 1 million fucking subscribers. That don't mean shit and everything. So now I'll let you guys in on a little secret. I got 10,000 subs, but I make more money off of like people seeing my stuff, coming to my shop, seeing my shop for 2 years, or exporting a car off of that with my 10,000 subs. So it doesn't mean that you need 1 million subs to make money or stuff like that and everything. And it is what it is, man. So that's my parting words, man. I was talking too much. So again, anyway, it's going to be Lex signing off from Richmond, California, CA not VA, as we always say. And and this is going to be Donnie signing off from Masawa, Japan, inside my podcast studio here. So thank you guys for tuning in. It's going to be Donnie signing off. See you guys later. Peace. Cool.